everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're so excited today. We have another one of our interviews with some of our Hall stars here. This is only our second interview from a member of the Good Witch cast, and it's coming back. We're so excited. We had a month delay, which was very frustrating, but we're very excited to have the Good Witch coming back and to get to talk to Kylee Evans, who plays Stephanie on the Good Witch. And Kylee, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So what we like to do on our podcast is to ask our guests, introduce yourself and tell us what inspired you to become an actress.
Okay. Well, I'm Kylee Evans, and I'm from Canada, obviously, where we shoot Good Witch. And I guess my inspiration for becoming an actress, I actually started out as a singer. I went to university and I studied voice. I have a degree in vocal performance, all things classical and opera.
Oh.
And and that led to me realizing that is not the life I wanted. So I switched gears and went back to school for musical theater. And I moved to Toronto and I started performing on stage. And it just so happened that all my auditions that I kept getting were TV roles, mainly comedy, and I just kept booking them. So it's sort of, I guess that was my inspiration, just success and actually getting to work. But I didn't set out to be an actor in the first place. So it's been I took a path that I wasn't supposed to take, and it's worked out really well for me. And I wouldn't want it any other way at this point.
That is really cool. So you were like in choirs and stuff, or in plays growing up, or as singing?
Yeah, so my whole life I've been singing, private lessons and in church choir and honor choir and an all girls choir, and then I always loved music theater. But my mom was very adamant that I have a university degree, so I went off to university. And in Canada at that time, you couldn't get a music theater degree in university. You had to get opera or performance, which was always classical. So that's how that ended up happening. And I realized I really missed the music theater part. So
that's really cool. Are you a soprano or an alto?
I am a soprano, a very high soprano.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Same with me. And it's the best because you always get the melody 99% of the time, first of all, which is very helpful, at least for me.
Yes, that's so true.
I think I would will myself to being a soprano, even if I wasn't a soprano, because I am the worst at finding harmonies. I'm terrible at that. Like I have to have the
I always feel bad.
Yeah,
it's true. A second soprano or an alto, you always have to learn so much more and work so much harder in any choir.
Yeah, I have to have the person like literally like screaming in my ear the harmony thing. It's a bad situation. But yeah, and I feel very bad for the tenors. I'm just like it's a lost cause. No.
Oh my. No.
That's really fun. Did you ever get to go to Broadway, see some shows? Go to New York?
Yeah, it's like my favorite weekend would be like, flying out on a Thursday and seeing some shows and coming back to Toronto. It's like, we also have some really great shows here, but there's nothing like going to New York and just, taking a weekend and seeing 3 or 4 things, and it's magic. So yeah.
For a while, my aunt lived in New York City, and it was the best situation ever because if you don't have to pay for housing for a hotel, it makes you can see way more shows, because you can practically for one night of a hotel is like one or maybe even more shows depending on deals you get. And so it was the best. I went and I saw something like 6-7 shows. one trip. And
So good.
I know, it was amazing. And yeah, I saw Light in the Piazza at Lincoln Center, which was incredible. That's one of my
I love
favorites.
that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw the Drowsy Chaperone in its premieres, in its previews. That was hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Drowsy Chaperone was written by friends of ours.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
Hilarious.
so we're very good friends with Lisa and Bob, who wrote the show, and Bob obviously ended up playing Man in the Chair forever, and it's such a great show.
That's really cool. Tell them they did a great job. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And I love Les Mis. It was really, aside from The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid was the first music that I ever really fell in love with. And
Right.
I would have these competitions with my sister. We shared a room when I was little, and about who sounded the most like Ariel. It was of course me, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure it always turned out very well.
Yeah, that's right.
The fight, I can just see it.
Yeah, it was intense. It was great. And I absolutely loved The Little Mermaid. I still do. It's still one of my favorite movies. And then Les Mis was, I mean, I would watch the 10th anniversary concert that they had on PBS. Now they have like the 20th anniversary concert, but the 10th anniversary concert, I knew every line to every song. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
So much. And when I was a freshman in high school, we went, because I was in Maryland. I was living in Maryland at the time, and my choir director, there was some concert or something, some competition in New York, and so she said, you get a choice whether you want to go to Cats or you want to go to Les Mis. And I'm like,
who picked Cats?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is not a show I like. Although there's some great music in it, that show just confuses me. And my husband loves that show. It's really funny. It's like a very vivid memory for him of going to that show with his mom when he was young, and he's like, he just thinks it was such a great experience. And I can't. I can't hear the story again.
You'll have to go with him to the upcoming feature film, the Cats. If you heard of it.
I have heard about it.
It's madness. You know, the whole set is to scale. Have you ever heard about that?
Oh,
no. Yeah, that it's going to look like with the huge, humongous, like everything will be super tall because there's a scale with the cats. That's what I heard, or read, or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So like it'll be like a giant trash can, like or whatever. Like it's gonna be nuts, and I'm all for it. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great.
Well, hopefully it'll be a better experience for me than my first time seeing Cats. So
I've never actually seen it, but I had a best of Andrew Lloyd Webber cassette tape that I got when I was like 10 or 11, and I just I wore it. I listened to it till it practically snapped as far as the cassette tape, because I loved it so much. So I'm with you on musical theater. I absolutely love it. So that's cool. Did your husband sing as well as you?
He feels like he can sing. Yeah, and I think better the louder the better is his motto, I think. He has a lovely voice. He just doesn't quite know how to use it properly.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
The louder the better. That's really funny. Well, if we ever get our Hallmark music, we have a dream of Hallmark musical, then we'll have to get you on board with that, because it would be amazing.
I would love it. We've been asking now for 5 seasons to see if we could have it. We really want to have a musical episode.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
I know we would love to do it. Yeah.
Can Katherine does Katherine sing? Does she have a?
I don't know if she sings, but she's very musical. And like her daughter is very musical. And Bailey's super musical, and
Yeah.
Sarah Power can sing, and so I feel like, and Disher is like she's like brilliant with voices. So
Yeah.
I think it would be, yeah, I think it would
Oh,
be so fun.
it would be amazing. I'm starting the Twitter campaign right after I stop this interview. It would be incredible. I would love
Yeah,
that. They just barely had a musical episode on American Housewife, which is a show I love. They did the finale.
okay.
It was amazing.
Oh,
I love
awesome.
musical episodes. It's so good. One of my favorites was the Once Upon a Time musical episode. Was so good. Oh, it was great. But
Oh,
yeah, that would be so cool.
yeah,
But
it'd be pretty great.
so before we talk about Good Witch, though, I just wanted to ask real quick about this game show that you do, just like Mom and Dad. You do this with your
Yeah,
husband, right?
yeah, with my husband Sandy. So we co-host, and the game show was actually it originated like in the 70s and 80s. It was called Just Like Mom, and it was a show that was shot here in Canada. And I feel like they did like 600 episodes of this show. Like, it just went on and on and on. And it was a huge success. And then the show went away, and so they tried to revive it and modernize it now, obviously with the inclusion of dads.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted a real life couple to host it, and so we auditioned and got it. And so we've shot two seasons of the show so far, and so we're keeping our fingers crossed for a third season. And it's just a really sweet family game show. It's sort of like the Newlywed Game for parents and children.
Oh, cute.
And it has an addition of the Bake Off, which is everyone's favorite part, which is halfway through the show, the kids go into the kitchen, and whatever we're making that day, like cookies or muffins or whatever, the kids bake their version of it with the addition of some really disgusting products. And then the parents have to sample all three baked goods and decide which one their kid baked. And it's people love it. People love to watch parents suffer through eating horrible food.
Yeah. That's really funny. And is that what's that like working on a show like that with your husband? Is that fun, or what's that like?
It is fun. Yeah. We worked together a few times on, once on a sitcom, and we just finished a movie together. And I just always say, like, when you're doing what you love to do with the person that you love most in the world, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, it's pretty special. And he's just, I mean, I guess if he was a different human being, I don't know how I would feel about it, but he's pretty great. So he keeps me very calm, and doesn't let me fly off the handle and get stressed out. And so I'm pretty grateful for that.
That's really cool. It must be nice to be married to an actor who kind of understand the system, the whole thing. That must be fun.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you go through so much ups and downs as an actor in this industry, and it's awesome for somebody to have your back and to know how it feels. Yeah. The only time it's bad is when you're both not working, and then it gets really scary.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are huge fans of Good Witch here on the podcast. It's our favorite of all the Hallmark shows.
Aww.
Yeah, just because it doesn't take itself quite as seriously as some of the others. And I mean, not that you don't have serious moments, but there's just a little more, I think, spirit of fun. And I just really like Cassie as a character. And I love Mayor Martha so much. And I mean, I like Stephanie too. I like all of that. It's just, I love Bailey. Great. as Grace. And I just love the show. I think it's really fun. And so I'm really excited to dive in here about the show. So Stephanie kind of started out as a love interest for Sam. And I was curious if that was it just going to be sort of a short little run at first and then it kind of worked and then you were at it, or was it planned all along that you were going to be kind of a part of the show?
I'm not sure. I mean, when I first started out, it was definitely for the season, and I think it was, it was definitely planned out that Stephanie was going to be a distraction for him because, as we know, ultimately it's going to be Cassie and Sam, and everyone knew that all along. And I think Stephanie was just that, that little distraction at the beginning. And then, I don't know, I think her character just evolved and she had her own little thing going on. So I guess that's why I stuck around, but.
Yeah. So then she kind of became the rivalry with Abigail became kind of a big thing in the later in the season, because first I think there was sort of a rivalry over Sam, and then there's just a general sort of rivalry for a couple of seasons was a big thing, and that must have been kind of a fun dynamic to play off of with Sarah.
It was really fun. I mean, we Sarah and I in real life are great friends, and she's so lovely to be around. So it's really funny to be like when they yell cut to immediately go from like eyeing each other and screaming to hey, what do you think of this dress? Or like she'll show me something online, or like it's such a weird time on set. But we had so much fun with that, and then it just sort of ended. Like we kind of made up, and every once in a while there's a little like tinge of jealousy or competitiveness, but it's and I think a little bit more this season, it's introduced again a tiny bit more, but for the most part, it's just, because they have a love-hate relationship, I think.
Because you even have in last season, you have Abigail basically becoming like busybody matchmaker to Stephanie. So things have definitely evolved from where they started.
Yes, most definitely, which is fun because, that's what happens in real life. So it's nice that there is an evolution of both of us, and not just with our relationship either, but like for each other's character. It's been really nice. And yeah, so it's I bring back the old term frenemy is sort of like from the 90s era. We're frenemies, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I did laugh the episode where she tries to set you up with all of her exes, and I'm thinking as a 38 single woman, I like, man, if my friends wanted to set me up with a firefighter and a like that, there was like, feel free, don't stop. No.
I know. I think that's the way I would be in real life too. And again, if I was writing the script, maybe it would.
Yeah, word out there. Anybody has any firefighter they want to set me up, just let me know.
Send them your way. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm ready to go. But that was really funny, I thought, and I've enjoyed seeing that kind of relationship grow and change over time. And so what is it like working, I could say, the two Katherines, with Katherine Bell and Catherine Disher? What is that like?
It's awesome. I mean, our cast and our crew and everyone involved is so incredibly awesome, and that it really, it's the best job in the world. It's hard to call it a job because you spend 6 months of your year with these people, and you you're waking up at 4 a.m. and you're seeing everybody's face at 4:30 in the morning. And it's so easy to forget how lucky you are in situations like that. And with the cast we have, you can't forget it, because everyone is so awesome and shows up like so ready to work and just be generous with what they're doing and the offers that they're making. And I love that. I just love that everyone is there to do the best job. And that's, that's evident in the show. But the two Katherines are pretty great. I mean, you don't get more professional than that. And to have, like, I just feel like every time I'm with them, every day I'm with them, I learn so much, because they're pros. Like, that's, yeah, it's pretty incredible to watch. I mean, especially Catherine Bell, like, and Disher to some point, because poor Catherine Disher always gets like, a 3-page diatribe. Like she gets like a speech that goes on for 3 full pages, and it's just her, and she has to memorize it all in front of like 80 people. And so that's always incredible to watch. But just the sheer volume that Catherine Bell has to learn, memorize, understand, and get through in a day is like mind-blowing to me. Yeah. And just to watch her do it it's pretty something. Like, she just knows it. Like, she reads it and she knows it.
Well, and I think she does such a good job of taking a character that might feel a little bit cloying in other people's hands, because she's always right. She always knows everything. She knows how to do everything. She knows how to fix any problem, for the most part, it seems like. And yet, I don't know, she's just great. And so you like her, and you enjoy watching her help all these people. And it's, it's kind of maybe a little bit of a Bewitched kind of vibe, or somebody like that, but just really just lovely. Just really lovely.
Yeah, I think it's because, as you say, like, she is the all-knowing person, and it's like she never comes off as that. She never comes off as a know-it-all or smug. She comes at it from such a genuine place of kindness that that's why it works. And she has it down to a science. Like, it's almost formulaic for her, she just she knows how to approach it. Yeah,
she definitely does, for sure. And so we here at the podcast all miss Stephanie and Ben so much.
Oh. I miss him too. I miss Jefferson too. He was so lovely to play with. And I know that's the unfortunate part about TV. It's like people move on, and characters get written out, or and not being the creator or not being the writer, it's hard to see why. But then 3 episodes down the line, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's why. I guess that's why this person had to leave, or I guess that's why this person has joined the cast, or they always know what's going on 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And I know, but I miss him too a lot. But you never know. Like, there may be somebody new you'll love this season. Like, you have a whole new season of characters to be like, you're gonna love.
Because we were like, they built the movie theater together, and now he's gone. It's very, very funny. Very funny.
I know.
Yes. Oh. So I am curious, do you like to cook like Stephanie? Are you a good cook?
I love to cook. I am a very, very good cook. That being said, I cannot bake. In real life, I do not bake. I cannot bake. I have tried a few times. It never works out. But when it comes to cooking, I'm very good at it, yes. And I love to do it. Yeah.
Well, baking's so much harder because you have to be so exact to follow for
Yeah, like
a
I don't
recipe.
follow a recipe. So it's, I'm just really good with making something out of nothing, and I don't follow recipes. And it's weird because I come from a family of bakers. Like my whole family are amazing.
Yeah.
That's just passed me by. I don't know why.
I'm just not very patient with things. And so like waiting for it to rise and waiting and I'm just like, oh, I just want to just go buy it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if it doesn't work out, you've just invested hours of your life into this thing. And it's very, yeah, I'm with
I
you
know.
on baking.
Yeah.
I have like time tested. I have a couple, like a recipe for rolls, but I've never been able to successfully make pastry. It's just I can't do it. Or biscuits. It's not happening. So
Biscuits are tough. And
they're really
my
hard.
grandmother's biscuits, yeah, my grandmother's biscuits are like the all-time biscuit. And so I won't even attempt that because like there's no point. And I do make a very good a friend of mine gave me a recipe for a lemon tart, and it has like an almond crust, and it's
Mhm.
amazing. And that I'm successful at, but it's
Mm.
really not a lot of baking. That's why.
I can do graham cracker crust. Anybody can do graham cracker crust, but when pastry, it's a lost cause. It's either too crumbly or it's too tough. I can't get it right, and so Marie Callender's makes my, my pastry,
Right.
my pie crust. She does a great job. But yeah, I, the what was it? I think it might have been at the Halloween special when she's listing all of this food for this thing, and I'm like, holy cow, how much are these people eating? What is Stephanie cooking for? A
It's
football
so
team?
funny because I'm always cooking. I'm always like, and
Yeah.
it's like if it were real life, I would never have time to be like catering an event plus getting a birthday
Yeah.
cake out to somebody else and then
Right.
hand delivering a special thing to Cassie's house. And
Yeah.
it's really funny to
But
me.
I think now that you and Abigail are friends, she has a
Hmm.
flower shop. You have a cafe. You should like join teams. Do
Yeah,
weddings.
you think?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You could do
Well,
weddings, you could do events.
yeah, we could have our own event company.
I know, it would be great. I'm sure Middleton
Because
has tons of need for this kind of thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Stephanie's not busy enough, so
No,
she
not
needs
at
more
all.
to do.
Yes. And so I did absolutely love the episode last season with as somebody I'm actually a critic on Rotten Tomatoes and I review movies for my other podcast and YouTube channel, and so I'm always reviewing things, critiquing them. So I loved the episode with the mysterious online critic review of the restaurant, and
Oh,
then when it ended up being
yeah,
Martha, we were laughing so hard. She was like, and just felt like,
it was
what? How did
funny.
you say that? And she's like, I was only trying to make you better. And I thought that whole episode was really funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty cute storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that it was Martha.
Yeah. And she was just like, played all innocent. Like, what? What could be? That was great. That's definitely one of my favorites. But
Yeah, it was great.
so I do have to ask too, is Stephanie going to be like doing the food for Cassie's wedding? We see
um,
clips of it in the trailer, or the promo, so we know it's coming. We hope it's coming.
well, it's coming. You're right. It is in the trailer. I just watched that the other day.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, Stephanie does the wedding food. Stephanie does Stephanie does a lot of baking, a lot of
Oh.
cooking this season.
Mm-hmm.
She has a new endeavor, a new adventure this season, that makes her even more busy. And there's Stephanie. Stephanie has her hands in a lot of pots right now going on.
Well, that's exciting. We're definitely looking forward, because I was going to ask you, so what's in store, little that you can tell us without spoiling it too much. Just a lot of fun stuff coming up for Stephanie.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff for me, and for Abigail, and for Katherine Disher, and I mean, Jamie and Sam and Cassie have a continuation of their life and romance, and there's a lot of new characters this season that add a lot to the show and bring a lot of life to Middleton. And so, yeah, I don't know, it's one of my favorite seasons so far. I loved season 1. That was my all-time favorite season, but I think season 5 is like a close second for me. And I don't know, I think I think everyone, the fans are really going to like it. We had new writers, and everything there was just more new life breathed into the show, and it was a really good season. And so I think there's a lot of surprises and in store, and you will have to wait and see.
Well, we are very excited, because like I said, we have had to wait an extra month because of all the Hallmark drama. We're like, what? But at least they're giving. Yeah, we were pretty mad, but at least they're giving us a double episode, so we get 2 that first weekend. So that'll be good.
Yes, you get back-to-back episodes, and it was tough to wait the month. It was tough for us too, and it's that's the reality. That's life, and I don't know. I just feel like good things come to those who wait, and so. That it's just going to bring us that much more success, I think, from this.
So what was why is season 1 your favorite?
Maybe because it was so new to me, but I loved, I felt it was just like the pacing of season 1 was faster, and Stephanie was just, I don't know, she was a little more carefree back then, and not so serious about everything. And not that I'm serious, but it was just, and I loved the Cassie Stephanie dynamic, and I liked the magic in the show of season 1.
It was really fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it was season 2. Was it season 2 the season with Gabrielle Miller in it?
She came season 2 and 3.
Okay. I mean, I love her so much, but it seemed like those seasons maybe were a little more Cassie Sam kind of focused, and Grace, and then really I felt like we kind of came to know Stephanie with the whole Ben relationship. I guess that's season 3, but that was so good. We loved it. So I can see how the first season is really fun, and I think they did such a great job of transitioning from the movies over to the show. That was a pretty hard task, but I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, I think they did too. And, it was a lot of work for them, and it was like such a huge success on their part. I mean, it's incredible. And it's still going, like, after all these years. Like, I was not involved in the movies, but I can't imagine doing, like, I don't know, is it 12 years that they've been? 10 years. Insane.
It is. And we all really enjoyed the movie this last October. we were disappointed about the wedding not happening. We're like, oh no, is this gonna be another One Cousin Tart where it's stringing along for forever? No, but
I know.
we were kind of mad about
But
that.
we can't do that to everybody forever.
Yeah.
But yes, I know. That threw people so hardcore this year.
Yeah, we're like,
no.
But I really liked the whole sort of lore of it with the Heart of Middleton. I mean, poor Middleton has more mystical objects than any town should have at this point.
Yes, we do. You're right. There's like amulets. There's like
there was that plant.
A flower. Yeah, plant. Yeah. I know, and it's always Martha. I find that it's like has to. Yeah. I don't know. She's the one who has to recover it all the time. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's something about Grey House. You know, she's always finding. I was looking in this. She say, you know, she'll say something like, "I was looking in this old desk, and there's this letter," and I'm like, how many desks are there? How many like where are you finding all this stuff? It's so funny, but it's so fun. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I love it too. So I'm hoping more people love it, so we can just keep going and going. Yeah.
So we like to end our interviews with what we call the Teen Beat questions, and these are just silly questions that Amber found in an old episode or old issue of Teen Beat. So here we go. First question. Okay. What is the best ice cream flavor?
Oh gosh. It's hard for me. I have about 7 flavors in my freezer right now. But my favorite one currently is creme brulee.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so good.
All right. What is your favorite color?
I would say it's blue.
Okay, good. All right.
It changes a lot, but blue. I think it's blue right now.
All right. What music are you into right now?
Oh man. I listen to everything. I really and truly do. I don't listen to a lot of country music. I'm not against country music. I just don't listen to it.
Yeah.
But I honestly listen to every kind of music there is. But right now, I mean, I love Beck and I love Vampire Weekend.
Oh.
There's 2 for you.
Okay, good. All right. What is your go-to date night food?
Oh, cheeseburgers.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is your go-to date night activity if you're going out?
Movie, then dinner, not the other way around.
You've listened to the podcast.
No, I have to go to a movie, then dinner, yeah.
Yes. Movies and dinner. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
Most definitely. I don't currently have a dog, but I grew up with dogs, and I'm threatening to get a dog. I'm threatening my husband with that. But yes, most definitely a dog person.
Cool. Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Oh, me too. Me too. All right.
Yeah.
Fancy dress or sweats?
Sweats.
Okay. Your favorite
There's
holiday?
A place for a dress, but
your favorite holiday to celebrate?
I think it would be Christmas.
Yeah. You got to. That's. I mean, I guess for Good Witch is the one part of Hallmark that you wouldn't say it's the. Hallmark is Christmas. That's Hallmark, but Good Witch is a little different, I guess.
I know it is different on Good Witch, but I mean, my husband and I have a blast on Halloween as well. But I think Christmas. You can't beat Christmas.
Yes, agreed. All right, and this is a hard question for people in Canada because you don't have Hallmark Channel. But what is your favorite Hallmark movie? And you can say one of the Good Witch movies. I won't be mad.
There is a movie that I just watched this Christmas, and I think it is my favorite that I've ever watched. And it was oh, I can't remember the name, but she meets a prince. She's working in a hotel, and she meets a prince, and she goes to be his nanny, and then
Yeah.
and then yeah, you know the one I'm talking about?
With Danica McKellar. Do you
Yes.
remember? Yeah. Yes, that one's one of my favorites. It's
Yeah, I loved
really good.
it.
It's so good. Yeah, it's Crown for Christmas, and it's my
Crown for
favorite. It's my favorite of the princess movies, and it's really good. I really like Rupert Henry Jones as the prince. He's the best.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah, and it's just such a sweet movie. I completely agree with you there. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Very good.
I liked it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a great time talking to you. Thanks so much.
And where are you on social media if people want to follow you and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so I'm Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm at Kylee Evans here.
Great.
As in, I am here on the social.
Okay, great. Well, we'll have all of that information in the description. So you guys make sure to follow Kylee, and make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, all of our social media, and on iTunes and on YouTube. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate it. And if you're listening on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that as well. And let us know what you think. Are you excited for The Good Witch? What are some of your favorite Stephanie moments? We'd love to hear in the comments section or on Twitter. That would be really fun. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, and on iTunes and on YouTube. So check that out. And thanks again, Kylee. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll definitely have to talk again, maybe at the end of the season. That would be fun.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll do a recap.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, talk to you later. Bye.
Great. Thanks. Bye.